What's going on, guys? My name is Steve. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm just an American guy on a journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Today, we're going to be reacting to why traditional English cheddar cheese is aged in caves. This video was actually recommended to me by someone in the comments section of another video, and I thought it looked really interesting. As someone who's not a cheese connoisseur, I thought the cheese that is on this thumbnail looked absolutely delicious, and it actually made my mouth water, which is something I generally can't say for cheese. I do like some types of cheeses on certain foods. For example, I like a good mozzarella on pizza. I like Parmesan on certain foods. I like a good provolone cheese on sandwiches sometimes and things like that. But I've never been able to get behind most of the other cheeses, especially cheddar. Cheddar is probably the one cheese that I've always found to be my least favorite cheese. Maybe besides blue cheese. I definitely don't like blue cheese either. But cheddar cheese here in America is, I always see it basically as a dark orange color. And I think maybe, I don't know what sharp and extra sharp cheese, and I don't know what the other labels you would use to describe cheese are, because like I said, I'm not really a huge cheese fan. I don't really eat it just by itself, but I have a feeling that I may not like really sharp cheeses. I'm not sure if that's the case, but is that what the really, really orange cheddar cheeses are? I don't know. I really don't know anything about it. And so I thought this video would give me a good insight into, a little bit more about cheese in general, about the traditional cheese making process when it comes to, the UK, and in this video specifically England. And, I know that people in the comment section of other food videos I've done have said, the reason I don't like cheese is because I haven't had good cheese. And they seem to think when I come to the UK, and England has been mentioned specifically quite often, it seems, they seem to think I'm going to fall in love with cheese, from the UK or England. And I don't know. Maybe so. I would love to see it because, I would love to be the type of person that would love a good grilled cheese sandwich, because it would be nice to have those new options on the table for me. But as of now, I haven't really been able to, really enjoy certain foods that other people in my family enjoy. Like my wife, she enjoys cheese of all types and just snacking on cheese and things. I wish I had that ability to really enjoy cheese to that level, because it definitely would give you a new option when it comes to, food and creativity with food and things like that. But yeah, guys, let's thought that this would be interesting to go ahead and check out. So let's go ahead and look into why traditional English cheddar cheese is aged in caves. Oh, before we get started, moving forward, I just wanted to say one more thing. I do think that one of the reasons why I may not be a huge fan of cheese is because I think when I was a kid, I think the cheese I ate was really not very good cheese. I think it was really horrible cheese, actually. And I think it turned me off from cheese at that point. And you know how if you eat a food, when you're a child and you don't like it, you begin thinking you just don't like it at all. And you grow up thinking you don't like this type of food. And then you just never really venture out and try different forms of that type of food because you remember as a kid you didn't like it. And so I think there might be a little bit of that here too. I definitely want to give trying cheese, different types of cheeses a go again as an adult, have a large assortment of different types of cheeses and really try them truthfully and see if I enjoy them. And I think I might do that with UK cheese specifically, because you know what? I'm going to trust you guys in the comments telling me that UK cheese is better than American cheese. I'm going to trust that. And I don't want to turn myself off completely as an adult from cheese without giving cheese from the UK a try first. Because you know what? I do believe as a whole, I will at the least find cheese on par with what I'd find in America, but I'm going to trust you guys and think that maybe the cheese in the UK may generally be a little bit better because of the traditional cheese making processes you guys may go through, or your cheese may go through in the UK and England specifically because of this video. Let's go ahead and continue. Man, that looks good. Like seriously, that looks really delicious.
Cheddar cheese is named after a small village in the West Country in England. We're here to watch the traditional method of making it and find out why cheesemakers restarted the centuries-old tradition of storing it in caves.
That's
the Cheddar Gorge
crazy,
Cheese Company
man.
is the only dairy in this village, so we're about to see the real deal.
About 333,000 tonnes of cheddar are produced in the UK per year.
By the way, sorry for pausing, but I had to mention this, that it's just interesting to me, like how you can leave something like it was at one point milk, and then it got turned into cheese, and then you can leave it just sitting on a shelf, and it actually gets better with age, supposedly, right? It's just such an interesting concept to me when I think about that.
To get the official protected designation of origin label, West Country Farmhouse Cheddar, the cheese has to be made in one of the 4 counties: Cornwall, Devon, Somerset, Dorset.
What is it about those counties?
The cheese must be made from milk from grazing herds no more than 30 miles from the farm. It has to be made from a traditional recipe. The curds need to be turned by hand, and it must be aged to a minimum of 9 months.
9 months, wow.
The earliest record of cheddar anywhere is at Cheddar in Somerset in 1170. The land around this village
Wow, so
has
beautiful.
been at the heart of English cheese making since the 15th century. Today, as many cheddar producers have upscaled and required more land, there is only one traditional cheesemaker left in the village. The Cheddar Gorge Cheese Company produces 60 tonnes of cheese each year.
Wow.
But certainly down here you have the Somerset levels, and then you have the top of the Cheddar Gorge, and each year you would get a lot of water coming down from the gorge, bringing a lot of silt, which really made the pastures verdant and very, very nutritious.
So Cheddar Gorge, is it Cheddar Gorge? Yeah, Cheddar Gorge Cheese Company. Okay, I need to remember the Cheddar Gorge Cheese Company. I think I want to make, unless you guys tell me in the comments that I should try a different type of cheese first from the UK. I think this would be the type of cheese I want to go with. It's this traditionally made, and yeah, Cheddar Gorge Cheese Company. I got to remember that.
In the morning, 2,000 litres of milk is delivered from a farm 4 miles away. It takes around 10 litres of milk to make 1 kilogram of cheddar.
What?
The milk is agitated, which mixes the fat evenly through the milk. Some farmhouse producers use pasteurised milk, but here it's raw milk.
Oh yeah, good.
We use it unpasteurised. We need to know that the quality of the milk and the safety is fine. The farm that we get it from has Friesian, Holstein Friesians, British Friesians.
A vegetarian replacement for rennet is then added, which sets the milk into a junket. This is cut to form curds and whey.
Okay, curds and whey. I've heard that in nursery rhymes or something. I don't know where I've heard that, but I think it's a nursery rhyme. But I've never actually seen it. You know, I know what whey. You know, I think everybody knows what whey protein is, but curds. So is it the curds that is actually going to turn into to a cheese, and then the whey is I don't know, fed to I don't know, what would you do with the whey? I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Curds and whey are heated to about 40 degrees Celsius to make the curds solid. This influences the moisture level in the finished product. Cheeses like Gorgonzola and Mozzarella have a lot of moisture in them, so they go off very quickly. Whereas Parmesan has little moisture,
Sure.
so lasts for a long time. Cheddar is somewhere in the middle, around 40%. The starter cultures develop and multiply. The whey is drained away. Next, the all-important cheddaring process, where the curds, now having the texture of chicken breasts, are turned and cut.
Oh, wow.
What cheddaring does is it squeezes the curd and forces more whey out of it. And gradually it'll get drier and drier and the texture changes very quickly.
Oh, wow.
The curd is salted by hand to preserve it, and milled into small chips. It's pressed into a 25-kilogram mould and left overnight.
Oh, that's how
In
they
the
made it.
morning, it's dipped in hot water to smooth the edge of the cheese and remove the imprint of the cloth.
They can just soak it
Then
in water like
treated
that?
with a vegetarian-based substance. The use of cheesecloth is a vital way of allowing the cheese to gradually dry and develop a rind. The only thing that identifies it is a tag that states the date of production and the weight of the cheese. The mellow, mature and vintage cheddars are all stored on site, where they are turned, and the free mould is vacuumed away.
Free mold.
The cave mature variety is carried into the famous Goff's Cave
Oh,
in the
wow.
Mendip Hills.
Wow. That's so cool, man. I've just never seen anything like this. I've just never seen this process, and I've never really paid attention to like just anything about cheese, really. I really appreciate when people do use, traditional methods. And so, yeah, this is pretty cool.
The constant temperature and humidity, nearly 98%, provide perfect conditions in which to mature cloth-bound cheese. The moisture content is a critical component, and it ensures the cultures and enzymes move on more quickly.
Wait, you want high moisture to age cheese? I would have thought it would have been the opposite. That's interesting. And so I know they said they vacuum up the free mold. What happens to like all the actual mold that's on the outside of the cheese? I mean, is that just left on there? That's something I don't quite understand. I still don't really understand, like, the cheese molds, and then like, do you just eat the mold? I don't really. That can't be the case. This has to be scraped off or something, I'm guessing.
Producing a more complex flavour. It takes on the natural yeast and mould from the atmosphere in the cave, leading to an earthy flavour.
Wow.
The cheese's strength is defined by the length of the aging. For mellow cheddar, it's 4 to 6 months. Mature, 10 to 12 months. And vintage, 20 to 24 months.
Wow.
Cave matured should have less of a bite at 12 months old.
So that's what I'm trying to. So is that the equivalent of sharp and non-sharp, like mellow and then vintage, and so does it get less of that? She said it gets less bite as it gets older. I think that's what she was saying, right?
We tried some out to see if there's a taste difference between the maturations.
The first one I'm going to have a little bite of is the cave matured cheddar.
Those rolls look good.
It's really creamy. It almost has the consistency of quite a medium mild cheddar. You can tell the difference of the rinds here. So I've got the cave aged one, which has sort of like that really damp, quite dark colour on the rind of it. And then I've got the vintage one, which is just a little bit lighter. Okay, now let's try some of this. Wow, the flavour of that is incredible. It has such a kick to it and such a bite. immediately when you cut into vintage cheddar, you want there to be almost a flakiness to it, and that's exactly what this has got.
The company is the first one in recent memory to reintroduce cheddar cheese back into a natural cave environment to mature. The PDO label was set up to protect the industry from non-genuine products. So why did the Cheddar Gorge Cheese Company opt out of it?
Some years ago we had PDO status for our cheese, but we deliberately opted out of it. So with the PDO you can make it from pasteurised milk. We make all ours from unpasteurised.
I can appreciate that.
PDO, you can mature it in plastic. We mature ours in cloth, and we are still doing the things that would enable us to qualify for PDO. What we've just done is go on a little bit further, quite a lot further.
I must say, this is the first time I think that actually watching cheese has made me hungry. I thought that was really interesting. This is the first time I've ever really seen how cheese was made. And I must say, this cheese looks absolutely delicious. It really does. I hope to try this company's cheese at some point. I'm gonna do that at some point. I'm gonna try this company's cheese, cheddar cheese, to see if I actually like cheddar cheese in some form or fashion. I absolutely love the way they use raw milk to make their cheese. You know, I appreciate raw milk so much. We have a local farm that we get raw milk from, and they do make cheeses, but like I said, I've always known myself as someone who hasn't really liked cheese, but I haven't tried, cheese produced like this. Obviously, I don't think. I'm guessing the cheese, most of the cheese I've tried has been cheese that hasn't been produced with old time methods, if you will. And but I love raw milk, raw yogurt and things like that. So I think I could possibly like cheese more than I think I do. So I'm glad I watched this. This definitely got me motivated to try, cheese from the UK, and specifically English cheese in this case. But I'm open to trying cheeses from other areas in the UK if, maybe this is a good place for cheddar. Maybe there's another place in the UK or Ireland that produces some other really awesome type of cheese. I don't know. Like I said, I am definitely I've never been a cheese fan. I'm not a cheese connoisseur. I know more about cheese from this video than I think I've ever known about cheese before. And it's something I'm willing to try again to see if I can finally sit down and actually enjoy cheese by itself, which, I don't know, that would be really interesting. That would be the first time in my entire life that I would actually sit down and actually enjoy eating cheese by itself, if that happened. But anyways, guys, thank you for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or other things. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.